Hall of Famer Charles Barkley back on the program. Are you unemployed right now?
No, I signed a deal last week, Dan.
Okay.
I signed
When do you start working with ESPN?
next year when the season starts.
Oh,
You know,
okay. So
I,
there's nothing going on from now until the start of next season.
no, I took my time trying to figure out my big thing was the work schedule, and I got together. I've been working on it for like 2 months, and I got together with TNT last week, and I signed the deal. So,
How many days a week are you going to work at the mothership?
well, it's I don't even think they know the exact schedule, to be honest with you,
Well,
Dan.
you better know the exact schedule because,
Well, I'm gonna trust them, because that's been my biggest concern.
yeah.
Uh, so, like I said, I didn't officially assign it to last week. I said I'd work for 2 more years, and that's what I agreed to. And I'm gonna have to trust them. But I listen, if they start trying to work me too much between ESPN and TNT, I'm just gonna walk on home. Because listen, I actually have 7 years left on my contract. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm working 7 years. I says, I'm gonna be a good soldier for Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq, and the people I work with, because I love the people I work with, especially behind the scenes. I said, but the best I can do is 2 years, and the other 5 years they got no chance of happening. So I said, you know what? I gave y'all 2 years. They're like, can we get three? I said, I just told you I'm gonna give you two. Hey, Dad, it was so fun. I said, I'll give you 2 years. That's can we get three? I said, I just told you I was going to give you two. So,
Welcome to the ESPN way of life, though.
this is the TNT people. Because I think my contract technically is still with
Oh,
TNT.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
But I'm gonna be a good soldier.
what was that feeling like last show?
Well, I was fine until Ernie started getting emotional, and then I started tearing up. And I'm glad they only had the camera on him. Because Kenny and Shaq, they were just talking. I was like, okay, did, but Ernie was emotional. The crowd was great. But like I say, man, I've been with these people for 25 years. It's a great thing. The NBA family has been tremendous to us. The fans have been tremendous for us. But I will admit, I'm looking forward. ESPN is the most famous sports brand ever, and it's going to be it's going to be awesome working for them. And nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, I think that's the only thing that, like, what are we actually going to do? So I think that's the only thing. But like I say, I did not want to leave people out in the cold. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me do it for a couple of years, and then y'all can have it.
Okay, but does the show look like the show? It's inside the NBA, but it's on ESPN. Is that how you're like positioning this?
Dad, we don't even know.
Okay, all
Uh,
right.
that's one of the reasons I was waiting. Like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing. And then TNT is trying to do something stupid behind the scenes. Um, we taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest I've ever seen in my life. Because we're not going to be on ESPN as much as people think.
Wait. What do you mean you taped a pilot?
Well, because ESPN, because we're only probably going to be working for ESPN like half the time to one third of the time. So I think TNT wants to do something, and we taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest shit ever.
Okay, so you're still going to do a show, an NBA show on TNT, and you're going to do a show on ESPN.
Yes,
Okay, good.
but
Okay.
like I say, if they're being honest, we're gonna probably work on ESPN one third or half the time. But they're trying to do something stupid at TNT, which is number one, it's a stupid idea for a couple of reasons. Number one, we won't have basketball highlights. But also, we're probably going to be going up against an NBA game. And I don't, anybody who likes basketball ain't going to say, hey, you know what? Let me turn off an NBA game that's on Amazon, ESPN, or NBC to go watch these four dudes sit around and talk about nothing. So it's complicated. And like I say, we taped a pilot doing stupid stuff, and it was just stupid stuff. And I wouldn't want to go out like that.
Okay, is this like a second screen or a Manning Like, what are we doing here?
Dan, they don't know what the heck. Hey, they don't know. They listen.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, Dan, it was interesting. We were sitting there taping it. Well, I will admit one thing. I give TNT credit. They did say it was awful pilot. So at
Okay,
least
they were honest with you.
they were honest. They were honest because it was like we just so they want to do something. But like I say, the problem we got, we're gonna be going up because they're gonna be probably much. Well, no, there's gonna be an NBA game on every night. So whenever we do it, it's gonna be up against an NBA game. So that's the first problem. So, but I guess they want to feel like they're doing something to make us earn our money from TNT.
Charles Barkley joining us inside the NBA on TNT. Is it going to? Okay, what's the show called on TNT? And is it? What's the show called on ESPN?
Man. First of all, I guess inside the NBA, I think, and I guess it's going to be just inside the NBA on ESPN, ABC. I think that's easy.
Okay,
but I think the show. I forget. I think the pilot's called Inside the NBA.
That's not confusing.
Well, you know the thing that was hilarious about it, Dan. We didn't have any NBA. Because you know,
you have no rights to the NBA, but you're inside the NBA.
That's right. We can't show highlights. We can't show highlights. So,
oh no,
we were sitting there for like an hour and a half taping this pilot, and we were looking at each other. What the hell are we doing? But like I say, I give TNT credit. The first thing they said after the pilot, yeah, that was really stupid. We got to figure something out.
What role do you think Michael Jordan's going to play with NBC's coverage?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't see Michael being on television a lot. I mean, I don't see Michael being on television a lot, to be honest with you.
Why do you think he's doing this?
I have zero idea. I think it's great that he's going to be part of the NBA. I mean, he's, in my opinion, no disrespect to Kobe or LeBron, he's the greatest player I've seen. I have no idea why he's doing it, but it's a welcome addition. I mean, man, this is going to be interesting going forward because there's so much money out there right now, Dan. Like, they got to do everything in their power to engage fans. I mean, the money that NBC, Amazon, and ESPN are paying. I tell people we were paying about $1.2 billion a year, and it goes up to $2.5 billion. Those numbers don't compute. So you're gonna have to do everything in your power to draw fans. I think it's going to be fascinating going forward how this thing is going to work.
What do you think Jordan would get paid today if he was playing?
Well, he'd be the first $100 million player. Well, first of all, we're going to have guys making 70, 80, $90 million in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
But, man, bless these guys as long as they appreciate how lucky they are and don't think they're making all that money because they're great players. They were just born at the right time. We got a bunch of great players, but man, these guys, I just hope they appreciate how lucky they are and stop this BS with load management. We can't keep crapping on the fans where we're like, you're making $70 million. You can't play basketball 4 days a week. You can't work 2 days in a row. And you want doctors and nurses and firemen and cops and people in the military and people who got like work in the cement factory. Like, wait a minute, I make $20 an hour. This dude makes $70 million and he can't play back to back. Come on, man. I think that's an insult to the fans. And it might be a problem. Well, it's already a problem. But when this money like double and triple, the fans are like, yeah, I'm not watching this crap anymore if these dudes can't play 2 games in a row. Can you imagine you're a fan and you get like a great player who comes west to east or east to west? He's only coming 1 time a year and the tickets are ridiculous. And you're like, yeah, he played last night. So I think there's some things we got to answer as basketball players going forward.
Yeah, but you're making whatever, $20 million a year, and you only want to work 2 days a week.
I show up every day though. Hey, listen, I show up. I show up every day, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Back to back though?
back to back. Wait, like during the playoffs, we work like 6 days a week, and I show up every day for those 6 days. Hey, and Dan, you know what? These guys are,
I
like
apologize. I apologize. I didn't realize the work schedule, the workload you have. My bad. Oh, you just wait. You just, oh, there you go. Are you back? You just
yeah, you
froze.
can't hear me?
No, you froze up right after I said that with the apology, and I thought you were, it was a dramatic pause there. So,
Why? Because it was a dramatic pause. Because you shortchanged me, Dan. Don't do that.
I didn't Shawshank you.
Yeah, you shortchanged me, Dan.
I thought it was Shawshanked. Oh, yeah, I shortchanged you, but I didn't Shawshank you. Yeah.
Okay, but these guys, Dan, I'm so old. We flew commercial and played back to back, and these guys got the best private planes. They got the best medical staff. They got these cold water plunges. They got these hyperbaric chambers. I mean, they got the best shoes, and they can't play basketball 2 days in a row for $50, $60 million. That's the craziest stuff ever, man.
Well, this will be crazy, I'm sure, to you. But I brought this up to Steven Jackson last week. I said, can you see a time or get ready for Larry Bird dropping out as one of the top 10 players of all time? Like, could you see a scenario where Larry is not ranked in the top 10 all time?
Well, let me say this. The three most important figures in NBA history are Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. There are a lot of great players, but there's only a few guys who transcend the sport. I'll throw Kobe in there. I'll throw LeBron in there. I'll throw Steph in there. And there are a lot of really, really good players, but nobody can take away the historic significance. Remember, Dave Collins, one of the greatest ever, gets mad when I say this. Before Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, the league was too black, too thuggery. The average salary was $200,000. Now the average salary is like $12 million. And Magic and Bird started the transformation. Michael Jordan took it to a whole nother level. He got guys making $100 million from Nike now and other shoe brands. That's all Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And because you look at the same thing in golf. Gary Player, Arnold, and Jack, they're the three foundational pieces. And Tiger Woods, that once in a generation player who was Michael Jordan in golf. There are a lot of great players. Phil Mickelson's probably the only other person in that conversation in golf. But there's very few athletes in every sport that people can say, oh, yeah, he's playing, I'm going to watch. That does not mean we don't have a lot of great players. Like right now, we got Shea, we got the Joker, we got Giannis, we got LeBron, Luka, all these guys. But there are very few players that transcend their sport. So no matter what happens with Bird as far as that, him and Magic Johnson are the two most important figures in NBA history, in my opinion. Then we all owe Michael, because when Michael, when he started doing commercials, that changed everything for everybody. Now, because of Michael, I was making millions of dollars from wearing Nike. Nobody was doing that. Nobody had a signature shoe where they were making $100 million a year. That's all because of Michael. That's why, regardless of all this other stuff, this LeBron stuff, this Kobe stuff, people buy shoes because of Michael freaking Jordan. That's it. I mean, and that's no disrespect to anybody. Yeah, some of these other guys out here selling shoes. Michael Jordan make people wear shoes to weddings. Nobody ever thought about wearing shoes to weddings until Michael Jordan. Think about that, Dan.
Did you ever wear Air Jordans when you played?
I'll tell you what's interesting about that. When Michael had pulled me aside and told me, we went out smoking cigars the last time, the Marty flew down. He said, I got something to tell you guys. He flew down to Houston, and he takes us out. We go out to dinner. We go out to smoke some cigars. He says, "Guys, I'm just giving y'all a heads up. I'm going to retire at the end of the season." I'm like, "What?" And me and Ahmad was like, "I think he's serious." He said, "Yeah, I'm going to retire at the end of the season." So I called him like a week later. And I said, "Yo, man, as a tribute." Because, remember when Magic Johnson announced he had AIDS? I wanted to pay homage to him. I called Billy Cunningham and said, "Hey, can I wear your jersey to celebrate Magic Johnson?" He says, "Sure, no problem." I said, and I called Irvin. I said, "Hey, man, for everything you did for me and my family, I'm going to wear number 32 all year." So I wore 32 one year. But I called Michael and I said, "Hey, send me a pair of shoes. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate everything you did for me. Give me that advice on that Nike stock that made me a $30 million." And
that wasn't insider trading, was it?
no, because at the time I was making about $3 million a year, and we were playing golf. And he said, "Chuck, I was talking to somebody. So I want you to quit taking 3 million, take 1 million, and take the other 2 million in stock options." So I called my people, and they say, "Hey, Michael told me to do that," because Michael's always been a brilliant businessman. And they're like, "This is risky. You think he's gonna be that great?" I says, "Man, I ain't never seen nobody like that dude." Because I had met him at the Olympic trials. I says, "He gonna be amazing." He says, and we did it. And like I said, I ended up probably making seriously another $50 million, to be honest with you. But he made me trade that in. But the point I was making, man, I put his shoes on one game. He definitely did the greatest damn basketball player ever, Dan. Those were the heaviest damn things I've ever played in my life. I'm not even joking. Because when I designed my shoes,
Yeah.
I wanted them really, really light. I played in those heavy ass Air Jordans one game. It was like I had bricks on my damn feet, Dan. And I'm being 100% serious. I called him, man. I actually called him after the game. I said, "Yo, man, what the hell you be putting in these damn shoes?" I mean, they were so damn heavy, Dan. I said, "Hey, I played in them one game as a tribute to him. These shoes too damn heavy for me, man." That's a true story, Dan.
It makes it even more amazing what Mike did in those Air Jordans.
I said, "You really are the damn goat. You playing these big ass bricks."
Do you think he could have had them design a special pair for you that maybe were a little heavy? Mike's very competitive.
No, because he got them to me like in 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he didn't have time to put no bricks in them. But man, them shoes were heavy as hell, man.
Before I let you go, what kind of chance do you give the Pacers against OKC?
I think they can make it competitive, but I've been saying for months, nobody can beat that team 4 times in a week. The Pacers got a good team, but the OKC, they're one of the best teams I've seen in a long time. They're the deepest. They might be the deepest NBA team I've ever seen. They be playing guys who don't even play like the last series, and they put them in the game, and they're like, "Damn, where he been?" So, and that's going to really negate the Patriots, the Pacers bench, which helped them beat the Knicks. Because the Thunder, they're bringing better players off the bench than the Pacers. The Pacers got a terrific bench, but Oklahoma City got better bench players. So I hope it's a good series, but I don't think anybody can beat OKC 4 times in a week.
Great to talk to you. Perhaps I'll see you in Tahoe.
You a coward, Dan.
No, I'm going to go out there.
Oh, you're not going to play?
Well, they didn't invite me. I might be working.
You won't be working. We play on a Friday afternoon and Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I think I might bring the show out to Tahoe.
You bring it out, and I should do that. How long you on?
3 hours.
I'll give you an hour one day, me and you.
Okay.
Last time you came to Tahoe, you missed about 6 little 3-inch putts. Because normally they give you those.
I know.
Yeah. I said, Dan, we have to putt out here.
I know. I did pick up my ball one time. Like, that's good, right? And then I was like, oh, no. People looked at me like, what are you doing? I go, wasn't that good? And like, no, you got to play them. Got to play them all the way to the cup. I know.
Yes, you do, brother.
All right. I'll see you maybe in July.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Thank you, man.
Everybody be safe out there.
All right.